The Adams family.
Family.
Da, 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 da. All right, we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. And I'm joined once again by the fabulous Doctor, who's in half face. Oh no, you're the little
I'm in
preview
what?
screen showed you. The little preview screen had you in half face, like if you were here.
Oh, am I in half
But
face now?
no, you're full. You're in your full glory. It's the full
The full Picard, as you
the full
say.
Picard, as we say, which we did not get. We only got a partial Picard in,
Oh,
in
come
this.
on now. That speech at the end was not a full Picard?
I see you are judging us by our children.
He who hates children gives a speech on parenting.
I know.
Wow.
Well, I didn't take any notes, and I didn't really think about the summary for this episode. So
Allow me to summarize.
You can summarize it. Go
The
ahead.
Enterprise enters a nebula, and remember that little ball of energy that impregnated Troy like 4 seasons ago?
Yeah, or like a couple seasons.
Yeah,
but
Troy should avoid alien balls because another little ball comes out of this one and basically just slaps Troy around for an entire episode in the guise of some little girl's imaginary friend.
Wow.
And Picard comes
your
in.
summary is way more entertaining. I wish you wrote the. I wish you were old enough to write this episode at the time. You might have saved a bunch of future audiences from some some heartache.
Some heartache, yeah. So this little ball is the girl's imaginary friend, and Picard comes in and gives it a stern lecture. End of episode.
Yep.
Pretty much.
It makes me sad that there are such things as filler episodes, and they used to be called that too, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Like, didn't they used to say, "Oh, you have your mid-season"? What was it? The mid-season episodes, like they weren't as great. Like you kind of expected it.
This certainly falls into not as great.
I'm compelled to find something. I'm trying really hard to find something redeeming about this episode, but I watched it twice, unfortunately.
Oh my god, why?
Well, I watched it like a couple of weeks ago, I do a little. I watch ahead. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm not too far ahead, but I try to go a little ahead. And then I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe I should just see it again, just to see if there's anything that I could like bring to the discussion. Like, I sat there with my notepad and my pen. I'm like ready. It's like I just like watched the whole thing very attentively, and nothing came out. Nothing came out.
Nothing.
Like I couldn't.
Nothing.
Like I couldn't.
Nothing to recommend at all.
I couldn't say anything. Like there was nothing. Now I understand what you used to say in high school. Like there's nothing redeemable about this episode.
There's nothing redeemable about this episode.
And I don't know. I think I must have never seen this episode when I was young, because I also mentally have blocked it out. I didn't remember that it existed until I saw it again a few weeks ago. So this episode is like extremely unmemorable.
What were they thinking? What do you think they were thinking when they said, let's make an episode about an imaginary friend taking over the Enterprise?
I genuinely think that like the only thing that I can kind of like piece together in sort of like a kind way would be to say that like there must have been a huge effort at this time to help people parent better, because I didn't remember how much parenting occurs on the season of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's like there's a lot. And then Alexander even makes a cameo in this episode. So I don't know. There's so many things that could have gone right with this episode, but it ended up just not. I don't know. It doesn't have like a lot of sense. But I think that there must have been some kind of huge effort in the 90s that I'm forgetting to become better parents. I think my parents did a pretty good job.
I think your parents did a great job
I think your parents did a pretty good job
with
too.
you and your sister.
Thank you, thank you. So I don't know. I think maybe I should probably interview my parents to see if they. I don't think they would sit through this episode though. To be honest,
Please don't make them. They were so good to you. Why repay them with
they were
this?
so good.
Um,
So that's the only thing. The story seems science fiction twist on the old which we've seen in a lot of episodes of TV shows from this just before this. Like I remember Different Strokes dealt with this kind of thing, and maybe other shows did too. But it's like the traveling, what's that? Oh, Imaginary Friends, yes, but more the traveling. Right, the traveling parent. Like, isn't that like a trope that keeps coming along?
The traveling parent.
Yeah, like the military parent or the parent that doesn't stick around in one town
but see,
too long.
Okay, but here's the thing: you've already got a character. You've actually got two characters already in the cast that you can write that kind of story about, because you've got Crusher, with Wesley, and and then you've got. I mean, they could have done something there when she was off being head of Starfleet Medical, and then you've got Worf now, So, I mean, there's two other characters already in house that you can write parenting stories on. I don't know why they had to. I just don't understand the point. I don't know what they were thinking with this. It was just It's just really. It's bad from conception through execution through everything. I mean, even the did you notice the botanist that was in the background? And she's always, I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day it is on the Enterprise, she's always back there wearing those the overalls.
Yeah, also because, I think
that's night shift. She's still there. What is she planting back there?
I don't remember. Also, I don't remember how the character of Clara is supposed to be, but I just feel like I think she, like, being a future child and like being aboard the Enterprise and stuff like that, like I think she would understand that, like, oh, my imaginary friend now is real. I should just I should report this or try to take a picture of it or do something, like, you know what I mean? Like, she would, like, that's the other thing, is that, like, is there no surveillance in the future? Like, is there no, are there no cameras in the future? I've never noticed anyone taking a picture. Have you, on Star Trek? Like,
no, this is a future free of Instagram and Facebook. This is a great future. Yeah, there's no one's on their pad, like, doing selfies. Nobody.
I just can't imagine that the ship never noticed an energy reading near this child, or there was like nothing that could alarm or alert. It was
going through everything, and there was it was emitting nothing. Remember, it went through the medical equipment.
We know visual.
Geordi. Why didn't Data didn't Geordi see anything? He's got the damn visor. I don't get it.
Worf also saw it. And so that means the visuals.
Saw the girl.
No, but if he saw the girl, it means the visual sensors are picking her up 100%. Like at the very basic, like there's sensors that can see. If your eyes can see it, more than likely the sensors are catching it, right?
That's true. So, that's true. And Worf didn't think, I don't know this girl.
No,
he's head of security. He must.
Who is this child dressed as Alice in Wonder? Because that's the only thing I could also think about, is that she was dressed like Alice, like the Alice in Wonderland type of, kind of the cartoon Disney version.
Can we go off topic briefly and talk? Actually, do you remember that movie that we saw with Macaulay Culkin as that homicidal kid? You remember we went to go see
The Good Son?
That was a horrible movie.
It was. I loved it.
Where did we go see that? Do you remember where we went to go see that?
It is a terrible movie, but I loved it. And that
we all went to go see that. You remember?
Yeah, Elijah Wood's career was launched from that.
Launched from that film.
Elijah Wood was the victim.
Right, and Macaulay Culkin was the bad seed, let's say, and I think that's a legitimate subgenre, the bad seed kid.
Yeah, definitely. That was like something going on there. I think it would have been better if she was the twins from The Shining. I think that blood should have been coming out of the. This episode should have gone full horror on us,
You're
and it would have
right.
been great. And actually, it would have been great because then you
You're
could have
right.
one of those. You could say like right now, episodes you play at how I don't know if you do this, but I kind of pick themes and then I'll play a Star Trek episode like for Halloween, right? Well, all I could think about was like Sub Rosa. That's the only like that's the only Star Trek episode. So imagine if we just had the full horror Halloween, you would play this like scary episode.
I can think of scarier episodes.
What would you play it? What would be your Halloween?
The one where they all turn into creatures.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's true.
And what about the one where the aliens do the and they steal you?
That's a really good Halloween,
right?
Because that still freaks me out.
That still freaks me out.
That still freaks me out.
Why is that happening? What season is that?
It's Schism. I think that's season 7.
All right. I'm
season
down for that
7
one.
has some really good episodes, I think.
It's also got some really bad ones.
That is the season. I don't know if you're down, but the next episode is Iborg.
Can we just talk about Iborg?
We can, but I have to watch it. I have to revisit it. I mean, I've watched it. Actually, to be honest, I've watched that episode probably enough times that I could just talk about it without having to ever watch it.
I think I would have to rewatch it.
As you know, that's one of my favorite episodes. But why were you going on the good son tangent? Oh yeah, because the bad seed. That's right.
Because you have this malevolent child, and you're right. This episode probably could have done with like a full-on horror. Like, what if this child had, like these movies, The Conjuring, and all this stuff? Would have been something more along those lines. Like, I was watching the episode, and I'm like, everything is so well lit and everything. There's no sense of menace to any of these scenes. Like, there's a scene where Troy and the girl, what's her name, Clara, or I forget.
Clara, that's right.
And they're looking for Isabella, and they're kind of looking around. They're looking under the bed. They could have played that up, and they could have made it menacing, and they could have had more shadows, and instead it was just bland and boring. And then Troy gets thrown against a wall. I mean, it's just
that particular scene. I like. I
laughed, to be honest.
But it's just funny because she's like looking everywhere, and then it's like, all right, I've had enough of this shit. I'm just gonna zap you. I think that the other thing is that I do believe that like the alien, I was unclear as to what it like. I think it was like interesting because you either get the bestial type aliens on Star Trek, like, and particularly in space, you'll get like a space whale or some kind of like, space animal that maybe isn't we're not able to communicate with. We don't know how to gauge its intelligence, like something like that. Or you get like
balls
entities that are like,
balls.
Like this
little balls. They're always little balls.
There's a lot of balls
by a little ball.
We also noted on yesterday's discussion with Sean that there's a lot of rape on Star Trek as well.
On Next Generation,
there are a lot of violations happening on Star Trek. So
it's harsh.
There's like a lot of repeating things. But what I was gonna say is like I thought that this alien was weird because I just didn't buy that it was like as simple as that. Oh, this alien's now a child, so of course it thinks like a child. So I don't know.
And we've already had, the episode where a much better episode where the kid who loses his mother on a mission, and Worf commits himself to this kid.
That's right.
Then they meet this alien who then recreates the kid's mother and is doing all these things. And Picard, I think Picard may even have just repeated the speech from that episode. He just said, "Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I've given this speech before. Let me consult my speech book. Oh, yes, I know what to tell energy balls who take our children. Let me consult it." you know,
Get off
and
my bridge. Get the fuck off my ship, you beastly ball of energy.
I mean, what were they? I just don't know what they were thinking, and I don't use this source often, but I'm going to today. These Cinema Fantastique. This is a publication from the time, and I wish I would read more from it during our discussions, because this is giving critical reviews from the time,
Oh,
which
that's
is
great.
interesting to contrast it with how we see an episode today, and they actually give it 2 stars.
It's very fascinating.
Huh?
Oh, jeez. I said I love that you have this like actual magazine from the time.
Yeah. And they interviewed people. Oh, I need to take my glasses off. Crap.
It's time to get those progressive lenses, doctor.
I'm allergic to retinox.
Rednecks. Retnex 5, I think.
Yeah, according to this, this magazine says it boasts an array of next generation cliches too numerous to count. A youngster in angst, a muddled B story. What was the B story? Them in the nebula?
Yeah, I think they were trying. Remember, they were trying to figure out why the Enterprise couldn't accelerate without.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Yeah, they couldn't get out of the nebula because of the strings, the cosmic strings.
Because the cosmic strings. Oh, the next cliche is cosmic strings jeopardizing the ship. Troy, quote, I feel good, you feel good, counseling. Yeah, Troy's a terrible counselor.
No, she's not. She
is. All she does is eat chocolate. That's all she does. Troy, I feel good, you feel good, counseling. And for those who missed it, an impassioned speech by Picard about rearing children that saves the ship. Every season has its night terrors. I guess night terrors is I don't know which episode that is.
That's the one with isn't that the one with the two the hydrogen atom and the two eyes, the snakes or whatever, I don't know, she's floating. Counselor Troy's floating. She's like,
do you see a theme here? Counselor Troy episodes. It says here, it's not a show that dealt with our regulars or needed to be on Star Trek, said producer Herb Bright. I think Michael Piller was trying to do E.T. Yeah. So the assessment from back then was that it was not good, and I would not insult E.T. in such a way.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. Right now I don't know what this
You're E.T. when he's hiding in
when he's hiding, it's true. Or when he's on the bike.
You're
there.
Elliot. No, Elliot has that look.
Yeah, it's true.
You need your bike.
Starfleet boy Elliot.
All right. So now I quote from my other source.
Before you do this episode, can we haven't had it in a few.
Okay.
So can we get like the last
one? The last one this one has is from The Perfect Mate.
That's great because we just talked about that. Which I'm a little appalled at your rating of a 1, by the way. I just want to say
it's a 1.
That
I wasn't on the show, so my rating doesn't count.
But Famke Jensen doesn't bring it to at least a 2. And what about Dr. Hewer?
It's a 1 for Famke Jensen, sir.
Well, okay, what about Dr. Hewer? Dr. Hewer deserves something.
Famke Jensen has much better legs than Dr. Hewer.
But come on, you're a fan of the
Buck Rogers. I know.
Buck Rogers, and you love Dr. Come on, you could at least give it to you. I give 2 to you and your gallant crew.
I wasn't on the show, so I cannot. I was not in the conversation, so I cannot be party to.
I'm gonna remember this when we get to All Good Things, and
oh God,
just letting you know, we're gonna revisit this time. It'll be like a flashback.
Can we go back further to the cost of living?
All right, go to the cost of living first.
Right. He writes. This is without a doubt the worst possible episode of Star Trek. Every moment of it makes me mad. Not only is Troy in it a lot, it also has her mom and also Alexander, who is really annoying. But on the holodeck, they create some bullshit pleasure colony, which is filled with fucking sucky ass shit.
Wow.
It is like some stupid bubble mime alien who makes annoying faces, and some fake Dr. Seuss arguing aliens, and a dumbass alien who juggles 3 balls. Who the fuck cares about juggling 3 balls? There are kids in my school who can do that right now. If you live in the future and in space, then juggling 3 fucking balls does not cut it.
It's true. He should have been able to do like 17 or true. That's she's like really. It's true. It's like the scene in her Insurrection. I think it makes up for that when all those kids are bouncing those tennis balls or whatever. Not they're like
hacky sack.
Hacky sacks. Yeah,
that's a hipster thing. That's a
all right.
Next. So now we have Isabella from this episode.
No, you're supposed to do.
He has 2 pages on that one. You're gonna have to just buy the book, man. I'm not gonna read the whole book. Everybody.
I know.
Yeah, no. Let's do Imaginary Friend. These aliens are some energy balls, but they there we see.
More balls.
Me. These aliens are some energy balls, but they can take the shape of people if they want to. Also, they can read people's minds somehow if they fly into someone's head. Is that true? I don't remember that.
Yeah. I think that's what happened to Isabel. I mean, to Clara.
It seems like whenever there is an alien made out of energy on this show, they're always ball-shaped. One of them turns into the imaginary friend of a girl, and she is pretty much the worst person alive in Star Trek. She is manipulative, mean, bitchy, and vindictive. Everyone on the Enterprise is ready to forgive her, even though she summons a bunch of other energy balls to murder them. But fuck that. I know what it's like to have someone treat you like this, and you don't forgive them. It is so fucking ridiculous how much this alien reminds me of my mom.
Oh, gee.
And that is such bullshit. It is bullshit that she is basically a child, and everyone tells me that I have to be strong and just put up with how badly she acts so she can get better. I should not have to be the adult in our family. At the end of the episode, the Enterprise gives these aliens a gift of free energy. I think the Federation shouldn't try so hard to be nice to aliens who are obviously assholes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We got to give a plug. Where'd you get that book from?
Oh, this book is called A Field Guide to the Aliens of Star Trek Next Generation by Joshua Chapman, age 11.
Joshua Chapman.
And this is from Devastator Press, and it is edited by Zachary Auburn. And there's the cover, folks. I recommend everybody, every Next Generation fan, please get this
great
book.
For a laugh. It's a really good.
It really is. It really is. It's gold, folks. It's gold.
All right, so that's all I got.
Shortest episode on.
It's a really short episode, I think. We do have some things that we can talk about and should talk about. A couple of channel updates, Doctor. Since it's been a couple of episodes since you've been on, the channel has over 200 followers.
No way! I've been watching that. I didn't know it had happened.
We, as of this recording, we have 201. I almost said 2,000. That's like when Chekhov wakes up and says Admiral, but
right, yeah.
But anyways, so that's super cool. We're
congratulations
very excited about that. Yep. No, congratulations to everyone. So that's really good news. What else? Let's see. There's an animated series of Star Trek coming out. Well, I don't know what you think of that.
Well, it's a comedy, though.
Yeah.
So I'm not too thrilled. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. You didn't want you wanted a serious one like the
original
series animated.
Yeah. I'm not too excited about comedic versions of the least important ship in Starfleet.
What ship is it?
I don't know. You have to read this. I have to go online and read the summary.
Oh, they're saying it's the least. That's the premise you're saying. It's the least important ship in Starfleet.
Right.
What could that be? The like if
it's a garbage scour or something. I don't know.
Is that right? I didn't even know that happened.
Perhaps.
I thought that was automated.
Someone's got to pick up the mess after the Borg destroys half the fleet.
I always thought that that's where the robots were on Star Trek. They were behind the scenes
Star
scooping
Trek
up.
doesn't have robots, really.
Yeah, but like in the back, I'm saying they do automation, like not robots, like you would not like automatons, but like automated ships for sure. Like a low threat,
Do
low
you think
threat.
they have automated ships?
100%. I mean, just logically thinking. I
No,
don't know.
but
I don't
wait,
know.
hold
Like,
on. I think no. I think the episode, the original show, the one with the Mach 1, no.
you're telling
Mark
me
5.
we're on the verge now of
Yeah,
having automated garbage trucks, like without
yes.
tons of person, right?
I think Star Trek doesn't have it.
So there can't be automated garbage ships in the future, in the Star Trek future.
I think there isn't. Yeah.
There is in the 2000. There is in the 2009 version, and
Which is a different universe.
it's well,
Well,
a different timeline is what they say.
a different timeline.
Timeline, same universe, different timeline. That's what they say. I don't know. I don't.
No, I think Star Trek is unique. It is very unique in that robots seem to be not a part. They're not trusted.
Well,
Original
automation
series for sure.
Okay, so this is actually.
I mean, why do they have miners? They have people mining where the Horta is. Why isn't all that automated? There's actually, you saw the guys in the jumpsuits. They're actually mining. They're,
Is that right? I can't remember.
Yeah, on Rura Pente, they're,
But I mean,
of course that's punishment, but still,
that's punishment. It's true.
I
wonder why does dilithium have to be mined by?
Because there's no robots.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is weird that Star Trek has no robots, don't you think?
I think
Data was the first. Data's a unique
right.
thing too. He's like
Data. It makes Data unique. I think it's purposely that way after Star Wars, just to differentiate between Star Wars. Even though there's enough to differentiate, because obviously Star Wars is not pure sci-fi, it's science fantasy. I just think that there's been a conscious effort to say, well, Star Trek focuses on this. Let Star Wars have that. That's why in Star Trek you don't have fighters.
That's fine for but what's the in-world explanation? Because you have to imagine that there's a reason why the Federation or the Klingons or the Romulans don't use robotics in a different way in a way that kind of aligns with how we're using them. And there's really no excuse other than maybe like an intentional message. Maybe I think that Gene Roddenberry might have had,
right,
like what you were saying a little bit, touching on earlier, because robotics has been popular in science fiction forever. So it's not like, it's not like they didn't want to talk about robotics, because Asimov certainly.
No, I mean they talk about robotics in the original show a lot. I mean, there's several episodes on robots with robots. Mm-hmm. They're just always evil.
What is it?
And then you have the M5,
right?
That I was saying the Mach 4. I was thinking Speed Racer. No, it's the M5. But if you watch the Ultimate Computer,
I'm actually thinking of Nomad. Is what I'm. Remember,
There's also Nomad. That's right. There's Nomad.
Right.
There's several episodes in the original show that established this philosophy that automation is bad, and I think the Ultimate Computer is Gene Roddenberry's ultimate statement on that. Now, you're right. There really isn't an in-universe reason for it, because maybe that's the human response, but why don't the Klingons have lots of robots? Why don't the Vulcans have robots? Why don't the Andorians have robots?
Right. That
is an absolutely legitimate question that Star Trek doesn't have an answer for.
Well, now we've stumped Star Trek. Discovery is... I thought they were doing robots.
Cyborgs.
Yeah, it actually is not robots, which is interesting too. I think that's interesting that even though Discovery is trying to reimagine Star Trek in so many ways, that they're still staying clear from 100%, introduction of robots, but it'll be interesting. Are you ready to give the rating, Doctor?
I thought we did.
No, we haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go first, even though there's no need, because for once we are 100% aligned on our ratings, and unfortunately, I like the discussion we were having today, but I can't find reason to give this episode a better rating than what I came in with, and that is a 0.
Zero.
I hate giving out 0.
Can we have a discussion? Can we give it a 0? Is a 0 an absence of a rating, or do we need to give it a 1?
Dictate that if for some reason like we needed to ever enter these ratings into like a database and it didn't accept zeros, that it would just turn all the zeros into ones. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's a 0.
It's a 0.
It's a 0. This is a 0 rating. There's 0. There's no reason to watch this. There's 0 reason to watch this.
And now perhaps there is one good thing that's come out of it. I think that you might be right in that this might be our shortest episode on record.
It is.
There are a few things that, since it's going to get published today, today is Sunday, November 4th, I will do some very in the moment announcements. One is, and Doctor, feel free to state your opinion on this, but I, as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, as a human being, but more succinctly than that, as an American citizen, I urge everyone to go out and vote.
Oh, okay, good. Yes. I was like, what's happening here? Some proclamation here.
I did it late because I wanted to be more informed. Huh? No, I mean late. I know, but later than the early voting. I like to vote like usually like early. It's Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
What I'm saying is you could have voted before.
Yes. Oh, I see. You voted later than normal.
Yes. Okay, I usually like to.
Well, we had 4 pages, sir. We had a very long
ballot. There's a lot. There's a lot. Sorry, I am an early voter.
So am I.
I'm grateful for that privilege. But yes, the actual vote happens on Tuesday, November 6th. So if you haven't voted already, if you're not a part of the early vote, then please go and vote. It's not too late. It's
rock the vote.
Rock the vote. Starfleet, LLAP the vote, you know. And I'm not going to give you any of my opinions beyond just go vote. That's it.
All right. It's good speech.
All right. Thank you. I am excited also, Doctor, and I wanted to know if you, speaking of Halloween stuff, on a side discussion here before we end the show, I want to give a plug to the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix.
Oh,
it's pretty, it's really good. What you did? Did you know?
I started watching it, and I watched an episode, and I was shocked because it was Bronson Pinchot was on an episode.
Yes.
I was looking at him, and I'm like, God, I know that face. Who is that guy? Who is that guy? And then the episode ends, and I see Bronson Pinchot, and I'm like, holy cow, Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, and the mistress, I know she's a controversial Time Lord, but the mistress is in the show as well. I don't know if you noticed her. Michelle Gomez. Lots of cool actors and actresses appear on this show. I never saw the sitcom. It was a sitcom.
Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, the Sabrina. Did you watch that at all, or was that something you watched?
I may have seen an occasional episode.
Wow. Okay. There are parts unknown here. And of course I didn't read the Archie comic books that these are based on either. So I went into it without knowing any of that, but I was thoroughly entertained. I watched the whole presentation from start to finish.
I only saw part of the 3rd episode with the lawyer Daniel Webster, which I thought, I didn't realize it was Daniel Webster until the end of the episode. when he gave his name, and I was like, oh, the devil and Daniel Webster. But I yeah, you get it now.
My goodness.
My
Yeah, there's all
goodness,
kinds of clever things. Like I
right?
especially think that like it's interesting how they have just basically, which is kind of like what you might do if you were establishing a unholy religion, is like they just convert like all the kind of like things that
Yeah, Catholic iconography and just invert.
yeah, just
Yeah,
invert it. And then also even just
yeah,
statements like, praise Satan, oops,
yeah.
like and things like
Oops.
that. So it's like, oops,
Yeah,
it's like
right. Yeah,
you
no,
don't want to
I
get out
thought
too many. If you were raised Catholic like I was, you don't want to get too many of those out of your,
yes, yeah, yeah. No, it was it was an entertaining
Yeah,
episode
you're
that I
excommunicate.
watched.
You can be excommunicated. It was just
Right.
so very familiar, but all upside down. Basically, it was a very interesting
Yeah.
take on things.
Yeah. No, I'll probably Emma started watching it. I only watched one episode with her, but I'll probably watch more of it. I mean, I maybe this is the prude in me, but I thought some of the like I wasn't sure what the audience is. Like some of the stuff suddenly made me think, okay, maybe it's a little older.
The audience is
Uh
100% adult. It's I think I don't know if I were
but
to
if you
give it a
take those
rating.
adult parts out, I mean there's her basically getting naked in front of the guy, and then the two guys just like bam, right into bed. Like I
That's
was
fair.
like, whoa, okay now.
But when you think
Uh,
about it,
if you take those two things out, I think it's perfectly fine for a middle schooler, you know.
yeah, I don't think it's good for
But no, it's a little
for
too racy.
middle schoolers. No, I
Yeah.
think a senior in high school might be able to handle it, but probably that's the target audience, I would think.
I guess. I mean, I
Because
just
by
thought it was
that,
interesting because the
I
tone
think that
was,
like I think that honestly, like she turned 16 in this episode, so like a 16 or 17-year-old, I think would be like, if it were me, I would have been super embarrassed to watch it in front of
yeah,
like my family or something like that. But if I were watching it alone, it would have been great.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
It's like
yeah. It just seemed the tone was so like here, and then whenever they would throw in something racy, it just suddenly blip, you know. But again, I only saw one episode, and I'm coming to it from the original show, which was on the whatever the Friday night. It was part of
there's
the
a
ABC Friday night lineup, which was
yeah.
always very family
I'm particularly interested, since we're not talking about the Star Trek episode anymore. We've gone deep outside of the Star Trek
way
episode.
off.
We may as well just go a little further. And I would just like to say that like I am excited about seeing Star Trek deliver these different. I know you're not particularly excited about a comedic animated series, but
Uh-huh.
I really like that like at within the next few years, we're gonna have whatever the Picard show is. I think it's everyone's speculating that it's called Star Trek Destiny, and it's gonna be based on the Destiny series of novels. I think it is. Did you read those with Ezri Dax?
I wish I could, but I can't look up books here.
Siri strikes again.
Mm.
Anyways, it was that, and then also, anyways, that's going to be on. Presumably, Star Trek Discovery will still be on, which is you know pretty obviously geared to like attract a whole new audience, a whole new type of audience, perhaps even than Star Trek is known for. And then there will be yet another show that scoops in a whole different branch of people, because Rick and Morty, I've never actually seen it, but I hear like so much praise, like people really love that. And then the video that I watched Sean post talked about how that the creator of Rick and Morty is like a huge Star Trek fan. Like,
Oh, I
so
didn't know he posted a
yeah,
video.
yeah. So
I gotta
yeah,
check it out.
he posted a video. Check that out. And so if his telemetry is correct, it could mean that like yet another segment of like audience will join Star Trek. And I think it's not a bad thing. I really think that like ultimately there's going to be a show, like there's going to be a show that you're going to be able, I think people will like ultimately get, if it's successful, sort of like the MCU, and where like some people are fans of Ant-Man and other people are fans of Thor, you know, like all of those, or Guardians of the Galaxy, all of those like movies, even though they're part of the same thing, are completely different flavors of entertainment, you know, and I think that's what Star Trek might be trying to do here, and I think it's kind of exciting. I might not watch all the Star Trek series that are being presented, but I'm sure that there will be one, or I'm hopeful that there will be one that I'll love, which to me it sounds like it's going to be the Picard show.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you in that. I mean, I'm not as interested in the many flavors of Star Trek. I'm a big fan of just, you know, these are the parameters, and Star Trek's a dramatic sci-fi show, or well, an action adventure sci-fi show. I just don't have. I'm not. I mean, I don't mind. Like, for example, I think I've sent you several times Robot Chicken's, you know, Night Crew from Next Generation.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious.
No, it's great.
But that's done on, obviously, on Robot Chicken, or even, you know, you and I were around when In Living Color did the famous Star Trek, the skit with Farrakhan on the Enterprise.
That's right.
I mean, I don't mind stuff like that, but when you're saying this is part of Star Trek itself, and it's not taking itself seriously, I think you're kind of breaking. I don't know. It seems to me like you're kind of breaking the rules, even though it's animated. I know they can, you know, they're kind of skating that, but I have no interest at all in a comedic Star Trek. Really, I just don't. I don't mind an occasional skit on SNL or something like that, but an ongoing, regular, goofy cartoon Star Trek, I think is just not interesting. I think much better would be, you know, I thought that what we'd be doing at this point is animated Star Trek to sort of connect the movies. I think that would be much more interesting. I remember many years ago, Universal was using this template of, they would come out with a big screen movie, and then there would be an animated prequel movie, and then there would be a video game, and then the animated movie would somehow tie to the video game to the movie, and they would have this little trifecta. And then Star Wars, you know, really, you know, the Clone Wars, you know, connecting the two trilogies together. You know, Star Trek, there's plenty of things that Star Trek could be doing to connect, you know, the movies together, or even the shows. I mean, you can make use of the fact that we can have Next Generation Crew, let's just say, for example, season 5, Next Generation Crew, and they'll look the same because it's animated, and we have all the actors, and they pretty much sound the same. You know, we could do that, and I think that's more interesting to me. But that's me.
Yeah, I would favor. I think the thing is that we have no idea. Do you really know that it's 100% going to be a comedy and stuff like that?
I think
you said
so.
There's a
Yeah. Let me. You know what? Let me go right now to
but
the article.
But yeah, I do think that if I were making the decisions, I would make something in the style of Rebels or Clone Wars for
Rebels,
sure.
There we go. That's another good example.
Yeah. And actually, I'm enjoying the Resistance show too. It's really good. The new one, the animated series on Disney.
I really haven't watched it. I haven't had a.
That's pretty cool.
The only thing I'm watching right now is because I have very little time, is I'm watching the new Castlevania and Daredevil.
There's a Castlevania show, like based on the.
Oh my god! Let me tell you, that show is freaking insane, and it's glorious, and it's beautiful, and I love it.
Where do you watch that show?
It's on Netflix. You must
I'll
watch
have to
it.
check it out.
The first
And
season
why aren't
is.
you watching The Expanse?
You know, actually, I am watching The Expanse.
Oh,
but,
good. Okay.
but
Oh.
can I be honest? I mean, I'm not hooked on it yet. I'm like
Oh,
about
that's okay. But
5
you're watching.
episodes in. I'm 5 or 7
Yeah.
episodes in, but I'm not hooked on it yet. I mean, I watch it, but I mean, you guys come on and it's just like, oh my God, praise
I
the
think
Lord.
it takes. I think I stopped.
It's a slow
around
burn
there.
for me. And I
That's
can't
funny
stand
that
this
you
guy
say-
with that fucking hat, man. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I think it's funny that you said all that because the first time I tried to watch The Expanse, I only made it till about the 5th episode. Also, just so you know,
Okay,
around
all
that
right. Then
point,
we're
and then
around the same.
I cooled it for a while, and then I was like, you know what? Everyone's freaking talking about this show, and so you just got to go with the flow, man. Get on that ride.
Well, no, but it's not right now.
So keep going. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's not gonna. It's a slow burn. It's exactly what you said. It's a.
You don't get me wrong. It's a good show. I'm not saying it's a bad show.
Once that pot starts boiling, brother.
What it is that I mean, so far everything I've seen before in one iteration or another. So I mean, I don't want to say I'm bored, but it's just like, well, I know this is Blake 7, this is Babylon 5, this is it, you know, so I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, okay, I see this, I see that. So I'm not but I mean, it is a good show. Trust me, I'm not saying it's not a good show. I will obviously continue watching it, but it doesn't have me like
it's
Daredevil.
I think it's not a show that has you at hello. You know, it's not like it's
right.
Not like
no. Or another one that I love watching is Man in the High Castle. Man in the High Castle had me like from the beginning. It just like grabbed me. And
man, there's
that's another one.
There's so much good television on in our lifetime.
Well, I think what's interesting is that we no longer. It's very hard for when we were younger. More often than not, chances are we all watch the same shows, or we would all try the same shows at the same time.
There were definitely
at the same time.
Yeah,
but now it's different. Now it's like you are really into The Expanse. I may really get into The Expanse years from now, who knows, or months from now. But right now I'm really into Man in the High Castle. You may not watch that for years, and then, hey, Humbert, oh my God, that show. So it's different. We're not all watching at the same time the same things.
I think there's a commentary there also, just in general. I think at our age we have less time for. So you got to pick and choose.
Yeah,
you got to pick and choose. I remember when I was younger, I could just spend hours watching television.
Oh yeah. Well, what's interesting is the kids, they watch. Dude, they watch at school.
What?
They'll be there, my age, and they'll be on the couch and they'll be like this, and they're watching TV on this.
What?
Yes, they watch. They consume tons and tons of television. What? Why am I gonna?
When I was in school, if I were watching TV in school in the 90s, I would have been sent to the detention.
What am I? It's lunch. What am I gonna do?
Oh, it's lunchtime. You have to give me context here. I thought you're kids are just willy-nilly.
Oh, well, yeah, that also happened. No, in the hall. Yeah, they do that too. But I mean, when I see them, they're in the library during lunchtime. That's when we have half the school.
What about when kids have? Are you if you're still involved with school when you're in your 60s? Can you imagine kids will have implants? You won't be able to tell if they're watching television.
You won't be able to tell.
You'll be able to tell. Kids will just be in alternate realities while they're interacting.
Oh, they're in alternate realities now, for crying out loud. So yeah, Oh, here we go. Okay, adult animated Star Trek series announced. Following on from Star Trek Discovery and the in-works Jean-Luc Picard series, CBS All Access has handed out a 2-season order for Star Trek Lower Decks, a half-hour adult animated comedy series from Rick and Morty head writer and executive producer Mike McCann. So The series will focus on the support crew serving on one of Starfleet's least important ships, with McCann's pitched reportedly beginning with the sentence, "I want to do a show about the people who put the yellow cartridge in the food replicator so a banana can come out the other end." So if that's the show you want to watch, there you have it.
The description's kind of funny, though, I have to say.
No interest whatsoever.
Remember the yellow cards that you put in?
I know. I have no interest in the guy that puts that in the...
Doot, doot, doot. Banana. Sorry.
Why doesn't the food replicator talk anymore?
Well, and no, it does still talk on Star Trek Discovery, but it's the wrong voice. It's not that banana voice.
No, but on Next Generation, it doesn't say Earl Green tea, or whatever.
Oh, it's because I guess food replication wasn't as good as science back then, and so you had to confirm that you were getting a banana. Maybe it just didn't. It was a not quite ripe banana, and so it had to let you know what it was so that you could understand what you were eating.
What am I getting here? This doesn't look like a banana. Computer, what is this?
It's a banana.
Fuck you! It's not a banana. Up your shaft. Up your shaft.
It's true. All right, I think we've exhausted our time or our audience's precious time, Doctor.
Yes,
let's not go into an hour here. We've already overstayed the welcome.
Did we talk about the episode?
Yeah, we totally did. We talked about. I think we gave it its devil's due or its proper due. Ha ha ha! Just kidding.
Oh, another bad one.
I don't know if we've ever given a 0 before. I can't remember, but this is something database one.
I wasn't sure if we could. I thought we had to give it between 1 and 10.
It's hard to remember the bad ones. So for me, it's like I know we've done it before. I just can't remember which one.
Okay, I just want to say with a caveat, my rating is 0, but if a 0 is not allowed, then it is a 1.
All right. So that means that the previous episode to this one, you could just go ahead and change it to a 2, right?
No,
come on, for Dr. Howard. Come on, Dr. Howard. Do you not remember what Gil Gerard is frowning at you right now because
who is
Gil Gerard?
Buck Rogers.
Buck
what
Rogers
about Twiggy?
Twiggy, and that's the other thing is I wish you were on because I think you have a Twiggy. Don't you have a Twiggy somewhere? Like, do you not have Twiggy?
I know. Yeah, Twiggy's. I have Twiggy right there. No, I have his autograph on my Buck Rogers.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, this episode is over, Doctor. Bitty bitty bitty. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you next time.